None of these three things in themselves are going to sound like anything particularly new, but let me put my particular slant on them because I want to pull out, if you like, an emphasis or a feeling about them. That when I look back over this really intensive number of years that I've been drawing, I can really see that these three things have been, in my mind, pivotal in my progression, in my, dare I say, improvement in my drawing, and have let me get to the place where I'm drawing things that I never dreamt I would be able to draw. Things that I would look at and think, well, I'll never be able to draw that, but it's amazing to look at. No, these thoughts aren't necessarily true. We can get to places that we never thought we would. So here are my 3 top tips for what I think really fundamentally enabled me to get to that place. And I hope they're going to be helpful for you, not just to reach the place that you're hoping to get to with your drawing, but to get beyond it. So the first thing is, draw things you love. Draw subjects that you love looking at. Draw objects, subjects, scenes, whatever, that bring you joy or excitement or something in some way that engage you in a way that for you is enjoyable, is compelling, because these will be subjects, firstly, that you'll want to sit with, that you'll enjoy sitting with, but these will be subjects that you will enjoy looking at more closely. In fact, they're probably already subjects that you've looked at more closely. And therefore, your observational skills are already going to be more developed. You will see things in observing these things that someone else won't see. Someone who loves cars and who's looked at cars and admired the curves and the lines and the silhouettes of cars all their life is going to have a head start on drawing a car than someone such as myself, who's only ever been worried that it will start when I turn the key and stop when I put my foot on the brake. I haven't developed my eye to see the things that really make a certain car, that particular car. Because these are the things we need to see, to enjoy, to appreciate, that we need to capture in our drawing to capture the heart of the car. So to choose subjects we love gives us an automatic head start. It makes it really enjoyable to put time and effort into the drawing. And if we don't get it right, we're more likely to see the things that are wrong because we have a much stronger sense of what's right. And because we have this high regard for the subject, we'll be less happy with imperfections. They'll worry us more than if we're drawing a subject we really don't care about. I could draw a BMW and it may look like a Toyota and it's not going to worry me at all. But by golly, if one of my perspective angles isn't perfect, I can see nothing else in that drawing regardless of how good the rest of it is. It's a bit windy here at the moment, but if a tree branch doesn't fall on me, I think we'll be okay. And if we start and we focus on drawing the subjects that we love, then it means we're going to be drawing fewer subjects. And that's going to narrow the total range of parameters that we have to deal with in our drawing. And that's, from an educational, from a learning point of view, a good thing. Because having less factors that we have to juggle makes it easier and faster to get on top of them. Makes it easier for us to increase our skills with those things. If I have a huge range of subjects, if I go from drawing cars to buildings to horses to boats to seascapes, then there's dozens of different things about each of those subjects that I'm never going to have enough time to become proficient at. But if I stay narrow in my subject area of greatest joy, then the particular things about that subject are going to be things I can become very skilled at much more quickly. And once I've developed those skills in one area, I can then take them to seascapes or to horses or to portraits. It actually gives me a head start. I discovered this with my painting. I painted in oils for 10 years, did no drawing. When I started drawing, I was amazed at how the skills I developed in my painting accelerated my drawing improvement. So many things I was aware of so much more easily. So many solutions came to me because they overlapped somehow, unexpectedly, with what I'd learnt painting. So developing skills in one area has an overflow benefit in lots of other areas. So that's another good reason to stick with one subject that we really love, that we really enjoy, that we really want to spend time with. But this first tip is, of course, in the context of the other two tips. It's not just drawing a subject that I love, because I can draw hundreds and hundreds of, well, bad drawings of the one subject. So it's not that simple. But that takes us on to my top tip number 2. We mustn't accept bad line work, errors, poor texture choices. We shouldn't accept anything that we can see is detrimental to our drawing. And if I keep making the same sort of bad decisions or mistakes over and over again and don't do anything about them, then I'm never going to get to that place that I want to get to with my drawing. Because whatever we accept, we never move beyond. Whatever we accept, we never move beyond. It's such an important point. It's a great mistake to think, oh, I'll deal with that in the future. Or this doesn't matter now because I'm just beginning. If I can see it, I already know enough to have to deal with it. And the big danger is because the way our minds work. I can see something's wrong, but if I keep drawing it with these same things wrong, over time, my brain will normalize what I'm seeing. Like, well, yes, it worried me at the start, but it doesn't really seem to be a problem anymore, so I don't need to pay attention to it. I don't need to go, that's not quite right. And eventually, I lose the ability to see it in my drawing as a mistake. I will get so used to seeing the mistakes that they'll actually look right to me. They'll look okay, they'll look correct. So my perspective angles that are wrong, that don't follow the right pattern in relationship to each other. My bad foliage pattern that does nothing except jar everyone who sees it as not looking very realistic. My lack of foreshortening. My drawing people who are totally out of scale to my streetscapes. Whatever errors I tolerate because I think, oh, I'm just beginning, I will lose the ability to see. And I won't just lose the ability to see these as errors in my drawing, I will actually be losing the ability to observe as carefully as perhaps I once was when I could see there was something not quite right with them. Because again, when I look at my reference, I will start to normalize this isn't important. I've seen enough of this to draw it accurately enough. I often say I can't draw what I haven't seen accurately. An accurate drawing always starts with accurate observation, with seeing the details I need to see about what I want to draw, to see how the various parts of it relate to other parts of it or to other parts of the drawing, and to be able to connect those in an accurate way, if realism is what I'm after, in my drawing. And if I stop seeing the errors in my drawings, I'll eventually stop seeing the details in my observation of my reference that I needed to see to recognize them as errors in the first place. And because I'm now not seeing these things as real problems in my drawing because I've got used to it, I certainly won't feel the need to critique my drawing, and therefore I'm not going to be reminding myself every drawing of the parts I should focus on in the next drawing because they're not yet working the way I want them to work. I can show you many drawings where I'm not happy with some aspect of it. And I wasn't happy when I finished the drawing. And that meant when I did the next drawing that had that same thing in it again, I was able to focus on it with a little stronger sense of what I need to do or want to do or hope to do to improve on what I did in the last drawing. And it's always necessary that we critique our drawings, that we find the things we want to improve on. But especially at the start when there's more likely to be more things, and especially if we're self-taught and we don't have a teacher to do it for us. I must give time and energy to critiquing my work, and if necessary, get a second opinion to make sure I'm on the right track. Because if I'm identifying weak spots and I can see them, but they're not improving with my drawing, then I need to change something about how I'm drawing, when I'm drawing, what I'm drawing with. Possibly I need some actual practices, some technical skill practices. Maybe I need to do some quick 10-minute drawings. Maybe I need to do some 1-hour drawings. But I need to change something because there is something about my manner, practice, time, scale, whatever of drawing which isn't helpful. And by changing one of the dynamics, it may just throw enough things out of my normal pattern of drawing that I can see more easily or adapt more easily in the direction I'm wanting to take my drawings. Or possibly I need to do some research. Maybe I'm not going to find within my mind and my observation the answers that I need. Maybe I need to keep just looking at other artists' work until I can find some drawings that for me hold the solution that I'm after. Or it could be narrowing my subject range until I see some improvement. Trying to draw fewer things so that I can focus on fewer things and possibly make it easier to hit on the thing that's going to make the difference. But if I keep doing the same thing over and over again, then I'm going to keep getting the same result. I need to make some changes to help stimulate, provoke, create a change in my drawing that will hopefully be more in the direction I'm wanting it to go. But it's important that this point is seen in the context of my last point. So, as the sun sets, let me tell you my last point. And that's be realistic. I need to strike the right balance, the best balance between my experience, my skill level, what I try to do, and what my drawings show I can actually accomplish. If I'm too easy on myself, well, I'm never going to improve because I'll just think everything's great or it's okay at the very least. I might have fun, but I'm not going to develop as an artist. So if that's what I want to do, then this isn't a helpful place to find ourselves. But if I push myself too hard, if I'm out of balance, that I'm going too far in what I'm trying to do too fast, then I'm only going to discourage myself. I'm going to be left thinking, I'm hopeless, this is no good. What was I doing thinking I could draw? And I'm not sure why, but it does seem that for a lot of people who are creative and enjoy drawing and painting and the like, that we're often very hard on ourselves for what we achieve. That we have standards that really are quite unreachable for us at that point, but we're quite merciless on ourselves for not reaching them. I have a few videos on perfectionism and some strategies we can try and use to move out of an unhelpful perfectionistic way of thinking, if you think that would be helpful. So I have to choose subjects that I like to think of as achievable, where I have a chance, if I push myself a bit, to draw it well, or at least to draw it satisfactorily. I remember looking at the Richelieu Pavilion of the Musée du Louvre thinking, I am never going to be able to draw this, but I so enjoy looking at it. And now I have drawn it quite a few times. And it's very encouraging to see that even though I couldn't have drawn it then, I have been able to draw it since. But I haven't yet drawn it freehand directly in ink. But I plan to soon, because now that's a far more realistic option for me, because I've been able to develop my skill level over time. I continually see drawing after drawing from the one artist where every drawing shows the same fundamental issues, where every drawing has, if you like, reached higher than that artist was in a place to actually be able to accomplish in their drawing. If I can't draw a really good cottage, if I can't nail all the issues in drawing a building that you need to get right in a cottage, then it's pointless for me to try and draw the Musée du Louvre, because the experience will teach me nothing except poor learning habits. It's like giving a piece of music for someone to play on the piano that is way beyond their ability to play well in any respect. It's simply not a good way to learn and will just leave you confused and discouraged. So I need to find that balance in the things I draw between pushing myself towards giving myself somewhere to reach, somewhere to have to try harder, and particularly somewhere to take risks in trying new things, a place where I actually push out of my comfort zone into the place where I think, oh, I may wreck it all with this. But it also has to be a subject where lots, if not most of the elements in that drawing that I need to draw are within, if you like, my comfort zone. They're within my skill development area, my drawing experience area. So that for much of the drawing, I can just be continuing to consolidate those skills in a positive, helpful, encouraging way. And then in just perhaps one or two areas, I push a bit further, step off the cliff, and hopefully learn some really valuable and helpful things for my next drawing. And I've extended my artistic development just that little bit more. These 3 points, I think, have been the 3 most fundamental points at the heart of my drawing development over the past 5 years. And I've been incredibly fortunate to have had lots of time I could devote to my drawing. But it is possible to have lots of time, to use lots of time, but not to use it in the most productive way. And equally, it's possible to have not as much time to draw as we would like, but to, if you like, fast track or maximize our improvement by making the most of every minute that we spend drawing because of the strategic framework we use in working out what we'll draw and how we'll draw it. Good things seldom happen accidentally. My drawing over these last years has been with quite a lot of intention and purpose and planning. And now you know what it is. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. I hope you found these 3 points helpful. I hope that at least some of them you can already see that you're doing. But if not, I hope there's something in this video that you can apply to your, if you like, strategic thinking for your ongoing artistic development. But whatever you draw and however you're drawing it, whatever strategies you are or aren't using, make sure that you do have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.